You think a security badge is just a piece of plastic? At my company, one snip of scissors on that badge brought 15 years of federal certification crashing down. The CEO thought his daughter was the future. She thought she owned the new era. Only I knew the system was waiting for one wrong move to execute them both. My name's Gabriel Martinez. I'm 47 years old, and I'm the Chief Security Architect at Blackhawk Defense Solutions. Look, I've been in this game long enough to know when someone's about to step on a landmine. After 8 years in the Army Signal Corps and 15 years in defense contracting, you develop a sixth sense for disaster. Our office sits in Fort Worth, Texas, where the suburbs meet the high-stakes world of military contracts. This is where old-school discipline meets corporate politics. And honestly, most days it feels like I'm the only one who remembers what discipline actually means. I'm not superstitious, but I am methodical. Old Army habits die hard. My truck pulls into parking space A12 at exactly 7:45 every morning. Not 7:44, not 7:46. By 7:52, I've badged through 3 separate security doors, and I'm standing in the break room, waiting for that ancient coffee machine to finish its job. Black coffee, no additives. In the compliance world, you learn to appreciate things exactly as they are. Before I even sit down, I'm at my terminal checking what I call the board, our federal compliance dashboard. It's my morning ritual, like inspection in the old days. A grid of indicators lights up my screen, and I look for one thing: all green. For 15 years, every piece of Blackhawk's federal security has been tied to my digital signature, my credentials, my whole identity in the system. Here's the thing. It's not just my signature. It's the company's lifeline. It's the master key that lets Blackhawk bid on those 7-figure and 8-figure contracts that keep us ahead of our competitors. Our competitors dream about these deals. Our CEO, Daniel Thornfield, dreams about the stock prices they generate. Me? I have nightmares about the catastrophic failure that's waiting if someone makes one wrong move. I'm basically the guardian of our promise to Uncle Sam, a promise that we handle sensitive information according to regulations thicker than a field manual. And trust me, I've read every page. My office isn't really an office. It's part of what the engineers call the secure wing. No windows, just the steady hum of climate control and backup power systems. This is the company's nerve center, where we keep the audit servers, the physical log safes, and encrypted backup archives. The sales team with their bright ties never comes here. HR avoids it completely. They treat it like the engine room, which is fine by me. I walk the aisles between server racks, watching those blue and green status lights blink like a Christmas tree. I check seals on fireproof safes, monitor the bank of screens showing system status. All green, all stable. The primary modules read like a checklist. Custody ledger verified by G. Martinez. Data sync verified by G. Martinez. Incident archive verified by G. Martinez. My name is the lock that keeps everything secure. Around 9 o'clock, the day shift settles in and the requests start coming. Not from executives, from people who actually build the systems we sell. Andrew, a project manager who always looks like he pulled an all-nighter, shows up at my door. Smart guy, but he knows better than to step into the secure area without clearance. Gabriel, hey, got a second? He asks, clutching his laptop. What have you got, Andrew? Just a quick email going to the Naval Yard. Status update, but it mentions the new firmware build. Can you just take a look? See, Andrew knows what I know. Status update and firmware build are trigger words for federal auditors. I take his laptop, scan the draft, and spot the 2 sentences that are technically accurate but legally dangerous. Takes me 30 seconds to rewrite them with the precise approved terminology from our last audit report. There, I say, handing it back. That's what you actually mean to say. His shoulders drop with relief. Man, Gabriel, you're a lifesaver. Coffee's on me tomorrow. Just file the draft. An hour later, Ryan from IT security pings me. Got a weird flag in the access log. Port scan from an internal IP I don't recognize. Looks like someone tried to query the archive server. Before I lock it down, can you confirm this isn't one of your audit scripts? I check my automated tasks. Nope. Ryan, lock it down and send me the incident log. I need it for the weekly report. Copy that. Thanks. This is my world. Precise actions, verified steps, mutual respect built on competence. Andrew and Ryan don't respect me because I'm a director. They respect me because when the auditors show up, I'm the guy standing between them and a career-ending mistake. But lately, the air in the rest of the building has started feeling different. There's this tension building like the calm before a storm. A new initiative from HR and the executive floor called Innovation and Agility. More all-hands meetings run by consultants throwing around phrases like breaking down silos and digital-first mindset. Those words make my blood pressure spike. In my experience, breaking silos usually means destroying security barriers. Digital first sounds like forgetting that our most sensitive data must, by federal law, be stored offline and signed by an actual human being. I sit in the back of these meetings, watching slide decks full of corporate poetry, and I can practically smell the risk radiating from every buzzword. It's like watching someone play with live ammunition while insisting it's perfectly safe. The feeling gets worse today. Walking from the secure wing to refill my coffee, always at 10:30, I pass the main bulletin board. There's a new poster, glossy and professional, sticking out like a sore thumb against the usual safety notices and benefits updates. Reimagining operations with next-generation leadership, it announces. Below that, there's a photo that makes my stomach drop. Our CEO, Daniel Thornfield, wearing his usual executive smile. Standing next to him, hand on his shoulder, is a young woman I've never seen before. She's wearing what I'd call aggressive casual, designer blazer, dark jeans, and sneakers that probably cost more than my monthly truck payment. Her haircut screams I have a personal stylist, and her whole vibe says I'm here to disrupt everything you old-timers think you know. The name printed below confirms my worst fears: Jennifer Thornfield, VP of Digital Innovation, the CEO's daughter, home from her latest adventure. Word around the office is she burned through $30 million in venture capital on some fintech startup in California before it folded. Now Daddy's found her a soft landing at good old Blackhawk. VP of Digital Innovation, a title that means everything and nothing, created specifically to give the boss's kids somewhere to land. And from that look in her eyes, she's not planning to sit quietly in the corner. The mandatory town hall gets called for that Thursday. Reimagining operations with next-generation leadership, they call it. I call it what it really is: a public execution disguised as a pep rally. The main conference room is packed tighter than a transport chopper, thick with nervous energy and burnt coffee. I stake out my usual position in the back corner against the wall. Old habits. Always know your exits, always have a clear view of the room. From here I can watch everyone's reactions, see who's buying what they're selling. Jennifer Thornfield doesn't walk to the podium. She owns the space before she even gets there. She's wearing that designer blazer over dark jeans and those ridiculously expensive sneakers. Moves like she's giving a TED Talk, all practiced confidence and rehearsed gestures. "Thank you," she says, quieting the polite applause. "It's incredible to be here, to be home, to help my father bring Blackhawk Defense into the next phase of evolution." Behind her, the wall screen lights up with her slide deck. All high-resolution stock photos and aggressive fonts that probably cost more than most people's monthly salary. First slide just says Operation Phoenix over some stylized bird rising from flames. I'm already getting that familiar feeling, like watching a lieutenant fresh out of West Point explain tactics to a master sergeant. "For too long," she continues, pacing back and forth like she's working a stage, "Blackhawk has been doing incredible work, but we've been doing it with one hand tied behind our back. We've been weighed down by legacy thinking, by friction, by processes built for a world that no longer exists." She clicks her remote. Next slide pops up. Kill the paper dinosaur with a cartoon T-Rex getting crushed by a meteor labeled data. "Real subtle. We're moving to an agile digital-first framework," she says. "Voice smooth as a recruiting commercial. We're going to break silos. We're going to innovate at the speed of thought. We're going to disrupt the old ways." The junior managers in front are nodding like dashboard bobbleheads. These are the same people who couldn't find their own desks without GPS, but they're eating up every buzzword like it's gospel. She pauses, scanning the room with those bright, ambitious eyes. They sweep across the executives up front, the managers in the middle, and land right on me in the back. I'm not looking at her presentation. I'm looking down at a printout of new federal data residency policies, marking it up with a red pen, old school paper and ink. "Legacy roles," she says, dropping her voice for dramatic effect, "will need to evolve or they will need to vanish." Her gaze stays on me just a beat too long. It's calculated, a public shot across the bow. The message couldn't be clearer if she'd used a bullhorn. The paper dinosaur with the red pen is marked for extinction. A few people actually nod enthusiastically, mostly the marketing kids who think disruption is a virtue instead of what happens right before everything goes to hell. Andrew and Ryan, sitting 3 rows ahead of me, suddenly develop intense interest in the carpet patterns. I don't feel fear. Honestly, I'm more amused than anything, because as she launches into this word salad about synergizing our data lineage and optimizing our compliance stack, I notice she mispronounces CMMC framework. She says it CMMC, spelling it out letter by letter like she's reading from cue cards, instead of SimC like anyone who's actually worked with federal compliance would say. It's a tiny mistake. Maybe 3 people in this room would catch it, but it tells me everything I need to know. She's memorized the buzzwords without understanding the substance. She's read the executive summary but skipped the actual manual. When her presentation finally ends, there's that awkward applause you get when people aren't sure what they just watched. Daniel Thornfield jumps up and claps the loudest, beaming with fatherly pride, like his little girl just won the science fair. As the room breaks up, Jennifer works the crowd like a politician at a rally, shaking hands and dropping more buzzwords. She's moving in my direction, cutting off my exit route. Classic maneuver. "That was quite a presentation," I say when she reaches me. My voice comes out flat, matter-of-fact. "Thanks. Just trying to shake things up a little," she replies, running a hand through that expensive haircut. "You're Gabriel Martinez, right? The custodian?" She says it like she's describing some medieval job title. Chief Security Architect and Federal Custodian of Record, I correct. They're distinct functions. Right. "Look, I've been reviewing your department's metrics, lot of manual processes, lot of paper." She gestures at the documents still in my hand like they're artifacts from a museum. "I'm all about automation. I want to streamline this entire wing. We can't be agile if we're dragging dead weight." She leans in, voice dropping to what she probably thinks is a conspiratorial whisper. "Do we really need a single dedicated person as custodian in 2025? It seems like a bottleneck, you know? A single point of failure. There it is. She's not asking a question. She's announcing a decision she's already made. She wants to replace a federally mandated human checkpoint with some software she read about in a business magazine. I look her straight in the eye. The feds need a person, Jennifer. Not a slide deck, not an algorithm. They need someone who takes the oath, whose name goes on the paperwork, who goes to federal prison if the data walks out the door. The whole system is built on human accountability. Your software can't take that kind of heat." Her practiced smile tightens like someone just pulled a wire. The easy confidence flickers, and for a second I see what's underneath. Cold, sharp annoyance. This is someone who's not used to being told no, especially not by some old-timer who doesn't appreciate her vision. "Well," she says, voice suddenly brisk and businesslike, "that's exactly the kind of legacy thinking I'm talking about. We'll have to agree to disagree. For now." She spins on those expensive heels and stalks back toward her father, leaving a trail of designer perfume in her wake. I head back to the secure wing. The steady hum of servers is like coming home after a firefight, familiar, comforting, predictable. I settle at my terminal and check the board. Green lights across the dashboard, all stable, verified by G. Martinez, still showing on every critical module. But an hour later, a new email pops into my inbox from Jennifer Thornfield. Subject line, "Mandatory review of obsolete controls." It's a meeting invitation for 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. My name is the only one on the required attendee list. Short agenda, but the single-line item is flagged in bright red. Review and reassessment of federal custodian role. She's moving faster than I expected. Most people would spend weeks building consensus, getting buy-in from other departments. But she's going straight for the throat. I'm about to close the email when that old soldier's instinct kicks in. The feeling that says, check your 6, something's not right. I open my admin console and pull up the provisioning logs, the ones that show when new user credentials get created. And there it is, timestamp from 8:15 this morning, right before her dog and pony show. New user credential J. Thornfield was granted view-only access to our staging environment. Not the live federal systems, but the sandbox where we test new code before pushing it to the real deal. Here's the problem. That staging environment contains live data samples, highly sensitive stuff. And to get any kind of access, even just to look around, Federal regulations require completing a 4-hour mandatory training course on data handling and legal liabilities, a course that I personally have to administer and certify. I check the training database. Jennifer Thornfield's name isn't anywhere on the list. Daddy gave his little girl the keys to the kingdom, and she hasn't even learned which way the doors open. She's not just a risk anymore. She's an active, unauthorized security incident. And after 15 years of dealing with these situations, I know exactly what to do with incidents like this. That night, I don't sleep much. Occupational hazard when you're paid to anticipate disaster. At 1:30 a.m., my phone gives a single buzz on the nightstand. Not a call or text, but a high-priority alert from a monitoring script I wrote years ago. An alert I've never seen trigger before. I get out of bed and fire up my home computer. Log into my private admin console, a backdoor only I have keys to. The system's flagging repeated failed authentication attempts against our vendor risk portal. Sophisticated stuff cycling through different credential combinations, probing for weaknesses. Then at 1:47 a.m., the attempts stop. New log entry appears. A temporary admin account linked to the executive sandbox just gained access to live systems. I trace the IP address, routes directly to the newly configured executive wing, Jennifer's office. She's not just window shopping in the staging area anymore. She's picking locks on the real deal. I take screenshots, export the raw data with timestamps and IP addresses. Save everything to an encrypted drive I keep in my home safe, in a folder labeled J. Thornfield Security Incident. Old Army habit. Document everything. Assume you'll need it later. The meeting at 8 o'clock feels different now. I'm not walking in to defend my job. I'm conducting an interview with a suspect. Jennifer's already set up in the glass-walled conference room with a spread of pastries and premium coffee. All smiles and corporate energy. Gabriel, glad you could make it. Help yourself to a croissant. I'm good. What's this about, Jennifer? She hits her remote and the wall display lights up with charts she clearly doesn't understand. Title slide reads, De-risking Blackhawk, identifying single points of failure. This is about the future, she says, starting that practiced pacing routine. I've been doing a deep dive on our risk vectors, and I found something significant. Our entire federal compliance architecture hinges on you. She clicks to the next slide, an org chart with my title circled in red like a target. In modern tech, we call this a single point of failure. One person. If you get sick, quit, or get hit by a bus, the whole system collapses. We're exposed. It's an obsolete control structure. I let the silence hang for a moment, then lean back in my chair. You're using the wrong terminology, Jennifer. The Pentagon doesn't call a certified custodian a single point of failure. That's startup talk. In their world, the world we actually operate in, the custodian is what's called a single anchor point. Her confident expression starts to crack. That's just semantics, Gabriel. No, it's doctrine. A failure point is a bug waiting to happen. An anchor point is intentional design. It's the known, verified, legally accountable human who signs the paperwork and takes the heat when auditors come knocking at 3 a.m. because a log entry looks funny. I stand up, walk to the window. You're proposing we cut the ship's anchor because it's heavy, without realizing it's the only thing keeping us from drifting into the rocks. Her face goes dark. The polished charm evaporates like morning mist. That's exactly the kind of legacy thinking that's holding us back. We can build better automated systems that don't rely on one person's badge. She leans forward, trying to use her presence to intimidate me. Cute. I've been intimidated by people who carried actual weapons. If your system is so fragile it would collapse just because of one employee badge, she says, voice getting sharp. Maybe the problem isn't with me. Maybe the problem is with your system. There it is, the moment of truth. She's not just talking theory anymore, she's telegraphing her next move. I look her straight in the eye. You won't like the system's answer, Jennifer. She scoffs, an ugly sound. Is that a threat? It's a log entry. Systems respond with data. You should know that by now. I head for the door. If you're done with your presentation, I've got actual incident reports to review. She's left speechless, mouth hanging open. Probably the first time in her life someone's walked out on her pitch meeting. Back in the secure wing, I fire off a formal memo to Sarah Bennett, our general counsel. Sarah's old school, sharp as a tack, but she bends whichever way the corporate wind blows. Still, she's terrified of federal lawsuits, which makes her useful. Subject line: Formal notification of unauthorized credential escalation risk and impediment of mandated succession protocol. I lay out the facts using Sarah's language, cite specific federal regs, reference the required 90-day succession buffer, state that senior executive Jennifer Thornfield has voiced clear intent to interfere with mandated controls. Attach the logs from 1:47 a.m. showing unauthorized access to restricted systems. File it in the official compliance repository. System automatically timestamps it and sends high-priority notification to Sarah's inbox. Read receipt comes back 5 minutes later. She's seen it. An hour later, company-wide email hits everyone's inbox. From Daniel Thornfield himself. Subject: Driving the Future. Announcing Operation Phoenix. Pure corporate fluff, praising his daughter to the skies. In just a few short days, Jennifer has begun vital work streamlining our operations. She'll be leading the charge to cut red tape and eliminate legacy friction that's held us back. I read it. Look at Sarah's read receipt. Look at the evidence locked in my safe. They've got the warning, they've got the proof, and they're choosing to ignore both in favor of a press release. They think my memo was just paperwork. Think I'm some paper-pushing dinosaur who'll roll over when daddy's little girl flexes her muscles. I close Daniel's email and open a file directory I built 15 years ago when I first designed this architecture. Single document labeled Protocol AGS 19B. It's not a bomb, it's not sabotage, it's what we used to call a dead man's switch back in my Signal Corps days. See, in high-risk military systems, a dead man's switch is a safety feature, has to be actively held by a conscious operator. If the operator's hand comes off the switch, if they're taken out, compromised, or forcibly removed, the system doesn't keep running blindly into disaster. It executes a safe, controlled shutdown. My protocol is woven into the DNA of our federal compliance system, tied to my credentials, my digital signature, the physical token in my employee badge. If my custodian role ever gets revoked without initiating the proper 90-day succession protocol first, AGIS 19B kicks in automatically, won't delete files, won't corrupt data, will do exactly what federal law requires when there's a break in the custody chain. It'll immediately cut our connection to DoD systems and flag our certification as compromised. They think I'm the single point of failure. They're about to learn I'm the only thing holding the on switch. 2 days later, the invitation arrives. Operational Evolution Summit, mandatory for all operations and compliance leads. I know what this really is. Jennifer's planned her grand finale, and she needs an audience for the execution. The meeting's in what we call the Fishbowl, largest glass-walled conference room in the building, designed to make the people inside feel important and everyone outside feel small. Today it just feels like the Coliseum. Rooms packed wall to wall. Jennifer's up front in her uniform, designer blazer, rolled sleeves, that ridiculous watch that probably costs more than most people's cars. She's feeding off the nervous energy, working the crowd like a revival preacher. "We must be faster," she says, chopping the air with her hand. "We need agility. We can't be chained to the past. We must stop trusting only people and start trusting our systems." Junior managers nod like trained seals, scribbling down buzzwords. In the back, Andrew and Ryan are studying the floor tiles like they contain the secrets of the universe. They know what's coming, even if they can't name it. She wraps up her slide deck and opens the floor for discussion on new policies that got sent out exactly 1 hour ago. My hand goes up. Her smile could cut glass. "Gabriel, our custodian, do you have a thought?" "Just a clarification," I say, voice cutting through the nervous shuffling, looking at the new draft policy, Section 4, Subsection B, Data Retention. I hold up my printout. Always bring hard copy to these things. This proposes changing our mandatory log retention from 12 months to 60 days. Jennifer waves her hand like she's swatting a fly. "That's right, cutting the fat, streamlining operations. 60 days is plenty in a modern cloud environment. This isn't about modern, Jennifer." My voice stays level, conversational. Federal Acquisition Regulation Supplement 703, Subsection D. All access logs related to DoD contracts must be retained minimum 1 full fiscal year post-contract closure. Our 12-month policy is already bare minimum legal compliance. 60 days is flagrant violation. Dead silence. Even the air conditioning seems to hold its breath. "You're not writing policy," I continue. You're drafting the violation report that'll shut us down." Her face goes nuclear. The polished performer disappears, replaced by pure, spoiled rage. "You are the bottleneck," she shouts, pointing at me like I'm on trial. "You are the no in this room. You are everything that's wrong with legacy thinking." I see the decision snap into place behind her eyes. She's been challenged, corrected, embarrassed in front of her audience by the old-timer with the paper. She can't win with facts, so she's going to win with power. She starts walking toward me, slow and deliberate, like a predator closing in. Every step calculated for maximum drama. You and your paper and your regulations and this. She's standing right over me now. Before I can even process what's happening, her hand shoots out. Doesn't grab my arm or shoulder. Grabs the nylon lanyard around my neck and yanks hard. The strap bites deep, jerking me forward against the safety clasp. Room gasps like someone sucked all the oxygen out. It's shocking, physical, completely over the line. The breakaway clasp does its job, snaps open with a sharp click, lanyards in her hand, my ID badge swinging from the end like a pendulum. She holds it up high, triumphant. "This is the problem," she shouts. "This piece of plastic, this physical credentialing, this single point of failure." She spins toward the supply station, rummages around, comes up with heavy black office scissors, turns back to face the room, holding my badge by the lanyard. "We are not dependent on a single badge anymore." She brings the scissors up to the nylon strap. Snip. Sounds small, just metal cutting through fabric. But in that dead silence, it echoes like a gunshot. She cuts the lanyard clean through, lets the pieces fall. My badge hits the polished table with a sharp clatter, drops the scissors next to it, stands there chest puffed out like a conquering hero. She's waiting for me to break down, to beg, to give her the emotional meltdown that'll prove her point. Instead, I look at her calmly. Let the silence stretch just long enough for everyone to burn this image into their memory. The smirking executive and the severed badge. Then I stand up slowly, pick up the cut lanyard and my badge, place them carefully on top of my closed laptop. "Look, Jennifer, dead in the eye, you just told the system that the custodian of record has been removed outside of proper procedure. Turn my back on her and walk out. Don't run, don't hurry, just walk to the elevator like I'm heading out for lunch." The moment those elevator doors close, I know what I've left behind. A room full of people who just watched someone commit corporate suicide and have the sick feeling that something irreversible just got triggered. My phone starts buzzing before I reach the lobby. By the time I reach my truck, my phone's not just buzzing, it's having a full seizure. The internal messaging system is going berserk. I sit in the driver's seat, leather cold from the Texas morning, and check the chaos unfolding in real time. The lock screen shows dozens of notifications. What's happening? Is the system down? Portal's gone dark. WTF just happened? One message cuts through the noise, from Ryan in IT security. "Gabriel, where are you? Main dashboard just went from green to yellow to orange. I've never seen orange before. Now the whole custody ledger is flashing red. Status says unassigned. Gabriel, what does unassigned mean?" I don't answer. Instead, I open my Black Terminal app and run a status query. Text scrolls across the screen like a military briefing from hell. Checking module, handshake failure, reason code 801.4, named custodian revoked, attempting reauthentication, failed, federated link severed, system lockout initiated, there it is, named custodian revoked. My system doesn't understand corporate politics or expensive scissors, it only knows binary logic. The authenticated custodian whose signature validates everything just got forcibly removed without proper succession protocol. Protocol Aegis 19B has executed exactly as designed. I can picture the scene in the secure wing right now. Ryan staring at monitors that have turned into a Christmas tree of warning lights. Nicholas, our CTO, probably sprinting from his executive office, screaming at engineers, who touched the architecture, who deleted the custodian role. But nobody deleted anything, nobody touched the code. Jennifer Thornfield just took a pair of office scissors and cut a person out of the system. And my dead man's switch registered it as a hostile takeover. My phone screen flickers. The protocol's moving to the next phase. External notification. I know what's coming next because I designed it. Somewhere in a government server farm, An automated alert is firing up, preparing to send the digital equivalent of pulling a fire alarm in the Pentagon. For 15 years, that signal has stayed silent. Today, Daddy's little girl finally found the button. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, my work email pings with a message that makes my blood run cold. In a good way. Sender, no reply at fedauditregistry.gov. Subject line in all caps, status certification invalidated. The message is short and devastating. This is automated notification, federated handshake with Blackhawk Defense Solutions vendor ID 77B9X was terminated at 10:32 a.m. CST. Reason? Named custodian chain broken without mandated 90-day succession buffer. All system access suspended pending manual review. Do not reply to this message. 15 years of federal certification, gone, invalidated in the time it took me to walk from that conference room to my truck. All those 7-figure and 8-figure contracts Jennifer was so eager to modernize, they just evaporated. Another buzz, different tone, more desperate. Text from our CEO's assistant, Amanda. Gabriel, please call. Emergency. Daniel needs to speak with you immediately. The feds are calling. Everything's locked out. We don't understand what happened. I don't call back. I drive to a coffee shop 2 blocks away and buy a large black coffee, my third of the day, but this one tastes like victory. Sitting in a corner booth with decent Wi-Fi, I log into the emergency federal teleconference I've been automatically included on. My camera stays off, mic muted, display name shows as G. Martinez, external. I'm a ghost at my own company's funeral. The call took 90 minutes to set up because that's how long it took them to stop panicking and start following procedures. Daniel Thornfield's on screen looking like he aged 10 years in 2 hours. Sarah Bennett, our general counsel, looks like she's about to throw up. Nicholas is there, along with a handful of other VPs, all staring at their screens like they're watching their careers burn in real time. Then the main screen flickers and a new face appears. Not some mid-level bureaucrat. This is Jessica Wells, senior federal auditor, calling directly from her government office. She looks like a high school librarian, but she's the most terrifying person any of them will ever meet. This is a recorded emergency compliance call, she begins, voice flat and precise. For the record, I am lead auditor Jessica Wells. Present for Blackhawk Defense Solutions are Daniel Thornfield, Sarah Bennett, Nicholas Palmer, and others listed in the transcript. Her voice could freeze molten steel. Before we discuss any remediation, I have one question. She leans forward slightly. Who removed the name custodian from your credential architecture this morning? The silence that follows is so complete I can hear my own heartbeat. I watch Daniel's face on screen. Watch him realize that there's no good answer to this question. Watch him turn slowly to look at someone off camera, his daughter. Finally, Sarah Bennett tries to build a legal firewall. Ms. Wells, this was an HR matter. Mr. Martinez left the organization this morning. He was terminated, Jessica asks. Direct question, no wiggle room. More silence. Sarah knows she just handed Jessica the smoking gun. Daniel Thornfield finally has to speak. It was a performance-related issue. She was let go earlier today. I watched Jessica Wells nod once, type something on her keyboard. When she looks back up, her expression could cut. Diamond. Thank you, Mr. Thornfield. That's exactly what I needed to hear. She pauses. Your CEO just admitted on a recorded federal line to terminating the custodian of record without initiating succession protocol. I'm looking at your own policy file signed by you. Federal Compliance Policy 144.6 mandates a 90-day non-negotiable buffer period. Another pause. You breached your own policy. You breached federal regulations. Daniel tries to interrupt. Jessica, please, we can fix this. We can rehire him. That is not my concern, she cuts him off. My concern is chain of custody, which you personally broke. As of this moment, your certification is invalid. Any attempt by your systems to access restricted portals will be logged as breach behavior and referred to the Inspector General. The screen goes dark. She's gone. The most expensive conference call in Blackhawk's history just ended with a digital door slamming in their faces. I close my laptop and sit back. For the first time in hours, I smile. 3 hours later, my personal phone rings. Daniel Thornfield himself. I let it go to voicemail, then listened to a man watching his company die in real time. Gabriel, this is Daniel. Look, we need to talk. There's been a misunderstanding about this morning, about Jennifer's initiative. We need your help. The federal systems are locked out. Everything's frozen. Please, can you call me back? I delete the voicemail. 20 minutes later, email from Sarah Bennett with a subject line in emergency read, "Urgent. External consultant engagement request." I read her desperate legal language, her careful avoidance of words like mistake or error. Then I compose my response. To be clear, I am not an employee of Blackhawk Defense Solutions. My employment was terminated this morning. If you wish to retain my expertise as an external compliance architect, my rate is $1,000 per hour, billed portal to portal. I require a 20-hour minimum retainer, payable in advance. I require full professional and legal indemnity for all actions taken, retroactive to 10:00 a.m. today. I also require a formal written document signed by the CEO stating that my termination was retaliation for upholding federal compliance policies. These terms are non-negotiable. Hit send, turn the phone face down. They can sweat for a while. At 11:47 p.m., Sarah's reply arrives. All terms accepted. Retainer wired. Indemnity attached with CEO signature. When can you be on site? I type back 8:00 a.m. As external architect. One final requirement. I want all junior and mid-level staff protected from any fallout. I'm not just saving the system. I'm saving my people. Done. Agreed. Please help us. Next morning, I don't park in my old spot. Visitor parking. Walk into the lobby like I own the place, which functionally I now do. The security system that locked me out yesterday is now paying me $1,000 an hour to be escorted past my own creation. They've set up a war room in the main conference room. Emergency console, direct connection to our core systems. Every executive looking like they haven't slept. When I walk in, conversation stops dead. Daniel Thornfield looks smaller somehow. Defeated. Gabriel, thank God. You need to understand what happened, I interrupt, spreading my system diagram across the table. This is protocol Aegis 19B, dead man switch. I built into the federal compliance architecture 15 years ago. I point to the logic flow. When the named custodian gets removed without proper succession protocol, the system doesn't see modernization or agility. It sees a security breach. It does exactly what federal law requires, cuts the connection to protect classified data from a compromised vendor. Jennifer's in the corner, silent, looking like she'd rather be anywhere else. Her expensive blazer looks wrinkled, her confidence completely deflated. Your daughter didn't just cut my badge, I continue, looking directly at Daniel. She cut the power cord to your entire federal business. The system worked exactly as designed. I lean back in my chair. Now, if you want that power cord reconnected, we're going to do this my way. No shortcuts, no modernization, no digital first anything. We're going back to basics, following every regulation to the letter, and rebuilding your credibility one careful step at a time. Daniel nods frantically. Whatever you need, whatever it takes. Good. Because this is going to take months, not hours. And every step goes through me. I look around the room at their desperate faces. Oh, and Jennifer, your modernization project is canceled. Permanently. Consider it a learning experience. For the first time in 24 hours, everything feels exactly the way it should. The old soldier has the high ground, and everyone else is asking for permission to advance, just like it should be.